Hello. Constitutionally, in the social context, on our own, but many of us, we never do that without much freedom. It's not happening in a very stringent conditions. Nobody's forcing us to accept anything. But indirectly and through multiple options, many social institutions influences our thought process. Without knowing, individuals succumb to those pressure. Without knowing those agenda, we cease to subscribe the other's ideology. Without knowing ourselves, we used to behave as per the instruction received indirectly through various sources. How to control that? How to control our thought process? How to take a decision on our own thinking process? That's called empowerment. And in this program, we are going to discuss about digital empowerment. I'm Arul Selvan, faculty with the School of Journalism and New Media Studies. In the present scenario of technological dominated platform, every majority of us are connected. Connected the sense not personally with our neighborhood or with the immediate community. Through technologically, we are connected. And we are bombarded with so much of information. We are connected with so many devices. Devices are connected. Through devices, we are connected with the thousands of people. So much of information is coming. This is one aspect of the current scenario in which we are living. And from 2020 onwards, government started focusing more specifically on reformation in education sector. And government gave a guideline called National Education Policy 2020. One of the recommendations is technology-based education, digital empowerment, digital inclusion. All these many aspects are connected with the technology. Utilization of technology for individuals. This is one recent development in which the government started focusing on that. In a larger goal, in the global context, Sustainable Development Goal 2030, that's a target in which they want to achieve that. One of the target is empowerment through ICT. If you look at the global or national context, every government, every institutions trying to popularize technology, at the same time trying to create awareness about technology among the individuals, how to handle those technology. So that is called digital empowerment. In this presentation, we are going to understand what is actually empowerment, what are the nuances of digital empowerment, and how empowerment can be achieved through adequate digital inclusion. In the whole process, what role media literacy can play. These are the 4 dimensions of these presentations. In the simplest definition, empowerment is adding more power to individuals. Empowerment is a process by which the individuals gain mastery over the personal affairs, influence over the political problems that affect them, ability to articulate their own stories, capacity for self-action and transformation of self-definition, capacity to access information and resources, confidence and autonomy to make meaningful and free choices and to translate their choices into desired actions and outcomes, capacity to increase agency for shaping their lives and community in which they live, and so on. In a simplistic term, we can describe that empowerment is the process in which the individual gains more power, through which they control their thought process. They know what needs to be accepted, what needs to be rejected, what are the information needs to be understood very critically, and how to communicate to the larger population, and what needs to be communicated, and in communication needs to be contextualized with the context of welfare of the nearest community. So the empowerment is we are enhancing our ability. We are enhancing ability in the sense not on other subject domains. Very simple, our own critical thinking, our skills and competency for the critical thinking, and through the process we are able to control the connectedness. That's what I've introduced in the beginning. We are highly connected through technology with many more people and information. In this scenario, our living conditions are closely associated with the higher utilization of technological platform. How to manage those platforms, how to manage through the platform with others, and what are the information coming and going needs to be controlled. This ability to have a better skills and competencies called empowerment. In the context of technology, we can call it as a digital empowerment. The digital empowerment has a multiple connotations, and the whole empowerment can be achieved. Why national level government is talking it through the major policy reformation in terms of the educational context, or global level in the sustainable development goal, why they are talking about empowerment through ICT. You need to understand that the environment in which we are living has a lot of commercial benefits, lot of ideological benefits, lot of other sociological benefits. Every major powerful institutions in the country or global context, they are maximizing the utilization of technology for their own benefits. If it's a capitalist, they use it for commercial benefits. If it's a political system, they use it for their own ideological benefits, opinion making. And other social institutions, they'll try to use a public opinion for sake of change, positive or negative, whatever level they are working on that. So for every thought process, every support, they need mass support. How do we generate the mass support? Through media. Now with the technology, social media, other platform in which the participation is much, much better. The hidden agenda and vested interest, they are imbibed in the whole communication content. The news or entertainment or infotainment, whatever the content we are getting are embedded with a lot of loaded messages, loaded agenda. How do we differentiate that? So every government is very conscious about that. Every major change agents are conscious about that. And participation is very crucial for democratic process. Until otherwise the individuals participate, the speed in which the transformation happens may not be achieved as stated in the national level or global level. So every major institution wants the individual empowerment, particularly with the technological platform. They want to achieve the digital empowerment. Digital empowerment doesn't mean about knowing about computer, knowing about a keyboard, knowing about the mobile app and all, but beyond that, how to use those platforms for betterment of individuals. In the digital empowerment process, one of the main criteria is we have to enhance the access to right information and reliable resources. So as individual, the digital empowerment involves the using digital technologies and internet access to expand our understanding to locate the required information and locate the reliable resources. This is one of the criteria to be achieved as part of the digital empowerment process. The second one is having a critical thinking. Critical thinking is simplistic term. You might have heard about the term read between the lines. Materials are printed, contents are produced or manufactured, created and shared in the individual level or group level in the public platform. Whatever information comes, we should not accept as the face value. We have to think who is behind this message and what purpose this message is being delivered to me, under what context. If you ask the basic questions, you can understand the purpose of that message and if you understand the purpose of message, then you can take appropriate decision for yourself. The political parties bombarding the advertisements in a given context, we can understand easily why they are doing like that. And if the commercial entity is going for multiple levels of advertisements, they are very vigorously promoting certain product, certain brand. If it is needed, you can go for that. Artificial demand we can't accept as it is, because this is the individual need to take up buy any product at all. So access to right information, the first step. Once you got the information needs to be processed in a well balanced manner, critical thinking. That's the second criteria to become a digitally empowered person. And the third important criteria as a part of the digital empowerment is promoting digital inclusion. Digital empowerment is closely linked with the digital inequalities. We will understand the inequalities in a better manner in the coming slides. Inequalities and digital empowerment is highly linked. And its aims, the individuals, they have opportunity to get the benefit from the digital technology. Earlier, couple of decades back, it is being termed as a digital divide. Divide the sense those having access to technology, and the other side is don't have access to technology. Divide, completely binary position. Some group is having, others are not having. But now the scenario got changed, and you must be familiar with the mobile penetration, because in nook and corner the mobile connectivity is available. Different handsets, different features. Some of them may be very sophisticated, some of them may be just ability to receive the call and attend the call or call back somebody. So variety of mobiles reach, as per the latest data, is close to 93% of Indian populations having mobile connectivity. In that, the urban center is having more daily density, rural having a less daily density. And there are gaps between gender, location, education, income. If you look at the various social demographic profile, you will find the variations. Many of them may not have a proficiency in English, so they are slowly, some extent, they are excluded from the software technological benefits, because a large chunk of the benefits are linked with the language. And income, if economic purchase power is low, then we can't afford sophisticated technology, multiple resources, high-powered gadgets, not possible. Even after having a computer, or laptop, or tab, or mobile, many of us having a different variation in terms of taking a benefit from those technological platform, in terms of our ability, in terms of language capacity, in terms of our need, in terms of our professional background. It varies from person to person. And maybe somebody may be technological savvy, and many of us may not be having that kind of proficiency in the handling of technology. This variation creates inequality. And there is a huge inequality in our Indian context, because digital inequality is not existing in the cyberspace or online. Inequality in the social context, inequality existing in the offline, in the normal world, that gets reflected in the online platform. There is no separate inequality in online. It's a replica of social inequality in the online space. Social inequality, can understand that there is a levels of hierarchy in terms of social hierarchy, economic hierarchy, hierarchy in terms of income, and hierarchy in terms of education, professional level, location, gender, and caste. There are multiple variables involved in positioning somebody in different cadre. Same is being reflected in an online platform. So until otherwise we neutralize the inequality, digital empowerment cannot be achieved easily. So this is the third criteria to become a digitally empowered individual. The fourth one is having access, having a critical thinking about accessing information and reducing inequality. The fourth level is enabling individual to participate. Participation. It's not like a newspaper. You every day morning you're receiving a reading, because somebody is writing a story. You are receiving your process. The process of news consumption is there. Here, with the technology, social media, and other platform, with your mobile, easily you can communicate. Easily you can report. You can raise a complaint. You can write like something. You can share something. How much participation can we have? We have the capacity to participate. Couple of decades back, it was not possible. Now the platform provides a lot of participation opportunities. But how much effort we are individuals taking for that opportunity to use for civic engagement and political participation? It's not about being a part of the political party. And we are living in a community, we are living in a society. There are a lot of issues attached with it. How much care we are taking about the issues surrounding us. And simple and changing a profile, you are showing some solidarity with the issue, sharing some information, or posting some information. Small effort from individuals. Remember that more effort like that from individuals is, if you collectively put together, that force is very strong. Until otherwise individuals participates, the society may not go that faster. So digital empowerment, ultimate goal is having information, critical thinking, and reducing inequality. The fourth level is participation in a civic and a political level. So these four are the crucial components, criteria of digital empowerment. Now we have understood the four criteria for empowerment. What are the challenges in achieving empowerment? There are only one challenge. This is about digital inequalities. And digital inequalities having its own dimensions. I told you that there is no separate inequality existing in the online platform, but rather the digital inequality is a replica of online inequalities. It's a replica of online inequality, is a replica of social offline inequality. Whatever inequality existing in our offline world gets reflected in an online platform. And there are many issues with inequality. The primary factor in which the inequality does exist is economic disparities in terms of accessing technology and its benefits. And it's rooted in the basic primary inequality. The reason for inequality is economic disparities and financial constraints, and that leads to lack of access to digital devices and high-speed internet. And if you travel beyond the urban settings, many times you might face the connectivity issues, but more number of people are living outside the urban context, but the technological speed, internet speed is limited there. So that is one of the concerns, the location disadvantage. And economic inequalities also affect digital access and opportunity that in some individuals wanted to use that. So this is a primary constraint of reaching the desired digital empowerment process. One of the criteria of inequality, one of the constraints of inequality. And the second aspect is geographic disparity, economic disparities and geographic disparities. Location plays a significant role in digital inequalities. Rural areas and underserved communities may have limited access to reliable internet infrastructure, and it's become a challenge for those residents living in those locations to take advantage of digital resources. And this locational disparity, geographical disparity, urban, rural, urban, semi-urban and rural, if you compare that, easily you can understand how much the resources are available in each location. A simple example I'll tell you that in Indian context, the Delhi density is number of mobile connectivity available for an individual. In urban context, it's 165%. 165%, this is 2020 data. Might be now the number might have slightly changed because of more aggressive penetration in the rural areas. One person's having more than one connection. That's what means 165%. Whereas in the rural areas, if you go, it's around 57-60%. So every second person having one connection. Simplest term example for geographic disparities. In urban, one individual having more than one connections. In a rural, two individuals sharing one connections. You can understand easily how much technological resources are being utilized by urban and rural. You will find the differences. The another third important barrier for digital empowerment is socio-cultural barriers. The cultural and social factors can contribute to digital inequalities. Some individuals, older generations, and they may not have adequate digital skills and competencies, literacy to navigate with the digital world effectively. And it creates a divide between different age group and community. Different groups, different communities. There are many communities lives in the peripheral areas, marginalized communities, disadvantaged communities, age groups, and people living with the disabilities. There are many more communities like this. All are part of this society that exhibit different levels of barriers. That as a society we have to include every person in the whole process. So economic disparity, geographical disparity. The third is social cultural barriers. These are the barriers of achieving the digital empowerment. And the fourth criteria in which we can discuss about content language barriers. In the global context, language and content can be a barrier to digital access. When 1996-98 internet was introduced, and for the first 10 years, 1 decade, English was a very dominant language in the online platform. Once upon a time, it was considered that close to 70% of the content available online belongs to English. But gradually got changed in the late last decade, around 2015 to 2020. It was estimated around 50 to 55% of the content available in English. Remember that in the early 2000 it was 70%. By 2015 it's 50%, and gradually English getting reduced, the dominance getting reduced. Other languages started playing a major role. Other languages means particularly the languages from the developed countries having much more presence. For example, in Indian context, if you measure that how much literature is available or content, language content available online, we are presenting in a very meager level of representation in online language wise. So this is a challenge one. Already English is not a very popular language in India. Close to around less than single digit numbers of people, portion of people are speaking English, affluent in English, understanding English. 90% plus people have to use their own native language, mother tongue, their own Indian languages to understand, to communicate, to interpret whatever the information they want to associate with the technology. So until otherwise the language based content is available, the penetration, technology can penetrate, but utilization goes down. Here another factor, this plays a crucial role in inequalities. And how empowerment we discussed, individual needs to be empowered technologically, ability to participate, access, critical thinking, participation, and other aspects of digital empowerment. And we understood what are the barriers, economic, geographical, social, cultural, and language barriers. How this can be achieved, how the empowerment can be achieved by minimizing digital inequality. There are 3 dimensions in the whole process. Ultimate goal is empowerment. Why do we need to talk about empowerment? Because there is an existing inequality in the society. That gets reflected in the online world, digital inequality. So until otherwise we address the digital inequality, empowerment cannot be achieved. What is the solution for the inequality? Solution is media literacy. Media literacy is a solution for the problem of digital inequality. If you address the inequality problem through media literacy, you can achieve the empowerment. So this is a triangle. The one side is empowerment, other side is inequality, and the solution is media literacy. Basically, media literacy is talking about the literacy. You can understand that, reading, writing, and ability to understand. Same is the extension of literacy is media literacy. where the individual having a capacity to control the medium, various media, various information outlets, and participation, understanding everything. So media literacy needs to be promoted in every sphere, particularly educational intervention strongly recommended. Formal, informal, and non-formal way of facilitating in media literacy is very crucial. And in the developed countries, now we are talking about internet and online social media platform and all. But the media always a very powerful, always every part of the technological platform, it played a crucial role. And before television, newspaper, magazine, color television, the color magazines, they played a very crucial role. Then television came, then internet came. So whenever there is a major change in the media system, the developed countries' school curriculum adapted their educational settings to incorporate those changes. Magazine, they introduced a separate curriculum, how to read the magazines, how to understand color television, then later immediately internet. So the school can, because younger generation, the population dividend, you can understand in India, 2/3 belongs to youngsters. If we can train those people through the proper formal or informal or non-formal educational settings about the media literacy, so they can use the technology for the empowerment process. If we promote media literacy, then inequality goes down, and then we can reach the empowerment. Empowerment has a lot of benefits. An ultimate goal of civic and political participation. Everybody takes care about their family and immediate surrounding communities. If we do it that manner, then this is how the many developed countries achieve their progress in the multiple infrastructure level. Living standards goes up, and beyond the government, beyond the major stakeholders, every individual should have their realizing their responsibilities. If they realize the responsibility and if they're able to contribute something through technology, that's what digital empowerment is aiming for that. Thanks for watching.